rise and stand. Voices of the brave echo to the land. Chasing dreams on the edges of fate. With steel in our veins, we will not wait. Call, we rally and war for America first. We'll settle our score. Populism's fire ignites the night. And your face will shine a light. From the ashes of the past we stride. With iron resolve we will not divide. The fire burns bright, unyielding and strong. Together we'll sing a defiant song. Killer call, we rally and roar for America first. We'll rise and stand. Voices of the brave echo to the land. Chasing dreams on the edges of fate. With steel in our veins, we will not wait. Call, we rally and war for America first. We'll settle our score. Populism's fire ignites the night. And your face will shine a light. From the ashes of the past we stride. With iron resolve we will not divide. The fire burns bright, unyielding and strong. Together we're singing.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Several Maine Democrats are jockeying to replace Graham Plattner as the nominee to take on Republican Senator Susan Collins in November. Correspondent Laura Winters reports.
A lot of uncertainty in both Democrat and Republican circles in Maine as Democrats look to replace Graham Plattner on the ticket now that he's dropped out, and Republicans are left to wonder who Susan Collins will be running against and what their new strategy will be. Collins is trying to win a sixth term in the Senate in a state that voted for Kamala Harris back in 2024. Democrats have until July 27th to declare a new candidate. Laura Winters reporting.
There's more fighting in the Middle East as the U.S. and Iran intensify their conflict.
U.S. President Donald Trump had threatened to begin targeting infrastructure in Iran over its continued attacks on ships trying to go through the Strait of Hormuz through a route around Oman to the south. Missile alert sirens went off in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar this morning as Iran retaliated. There's no word on if there's any damage in those Gulf countries, but it just shows how everything is escalating, and this interim deal to try to end the war now looks increasingly at risk.
Correspondent John Gambrell reporting. The defendant in Charlie Kirk's killing told his roommate he wishes he hadn't done it the day after the conservative activist was shot in the neck while speaking to a crowd at Utah Valley University. That according to a recording played in court Thursday. Lance Twiggs, who is also suspect Tyler Robinson's romantic partner, described the interaction with Robinson at their apartment in an interview with law enforcement that was aired by prosecutors. On Wall Street, the Dow by 139 points. This is SRN News.
Found
missile shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan
They were shot at the aircraft carrier over a period of about 1 hour.
Are you tired of weak, woke, whisper politics? Then buckle up, America, because Killer Karl is here, turning politics all the way up for the America First movement. We're exposing the swamp, crushing the globalists, and fighting for the forgotten men and women who built this country. Killer Karl, the most unapologetic, high-octane political show on radio. It'll make your blood pump and your neighbors wake up.
All right, welcome. By the way, my man Jacob from Beyond Detox, he put that together for me so that when we add new radio stations, that will be a promo for us. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on the Killer Karl podcast. So much to talk about. Apparently, there's an Islamic Republic of Japan. Trump needs a nap. He needs a nap. But there's so much else to talk about. You saw the church in New York being firebombed. There were two of them. Two churches in New York being firebombed. Graham Plattner put out a, he's dropping out video. Or is he? I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff going on. And we have joining us tonight, the one and only, if I can pull him up, Jacob from Beyond Detox, and Big Tony Speaks. He's been missing for so long. I texted him today. I'm like, where's Big Tony Speaks?
He's been speaking to everybody except those online.
So, Big Tony, before we get into the mess of everything that's going on, tell us what's been going on with you.
Well, I have been in the process of a big move from one place to another, and now have completed my move. Haven't completed getting everything set up, but almost there. I'm now in a dedicated studio for my show, so that's good.
Absolutely awesome. Very important to have a dedicated studio.
Right.
I'm going to be honest here. If you have your mother-in-law living with you, you're going to spend a lot of time in your dedicated studio because the Keebler elves come out.
Right. Well, it's just me and Mad Marilyn, but
you're lucky. I wish I could say the same. I have a Keebler elf.
I don't think my mother-in-law will ever be living with us because she doesn't even like her mother. So,
well, let's just say the Keebler elves, they move in.
Right.
It's like the Keebler elf on a shelf. Everywhere you go, it's right there. Right behind you. Right? It's like imagine living with Liz Warren. I call her America's mother-in-law for a reason. There's a reason I call her that. Just saying. Right? Well, that's my life. But listen, I spend a lot of time back here. It's what it is, but we're dealing with it. We're dealing with it. I might need.
By the way, if any of y'all out there notice my camera seems to be bouncing, it's because I no longer have a desk. I have this wobbly table.
All right. So we need to get Big Tony a desk. I'm donating some equipment because I have way too much. My studio, if you could see my studio, I have way too much in my studio. I have all types of microphones. I have I sent Big Tony. I had a microphone sent to me, a whole kit, podcasting kit. I don't need it. Obviously, I've got too much. I've got a $3,000 paperweight sitting in the corner because the radio industry decided just to switch to Restream. Right. So I have a $3,000 paperweight sitting over there, a Comric box. For those of you that know what that is, it helps you remotely connect the radio stations from your house or your personal studio. But it's a $3,000 paperweight now, and I have too much. And so we're going to donate some equipment to Big Tony, right? Because he needs it.
Yeah, my desk kind of got destroyed in the move. It was one of those. It has a pillar on this side and a pillar on this side. We went to lift it up, and it just went. It came completely
happens.
apart, and not
No.
repairable.
You know what?
So,
You know what my desk is, Big Tony? It's a big it
folding
is.
table.
It's a big folding table. Right?
you've sent me pictures.
It's
of
a
your
huge
setup, so
folding
I know
table
what it is.
because I have a printer, I have my lighting, I have 2 monitors, a tablet, comic box, a new laptop I had to buy because this one's on the fritz of dying.
Right.
But you know what? I'm that type of person. I have to use it till it dies. Right. So I think it was like 2 weeks ago, my computer my laptop started going on the fritz right before I was ready to go on air on a Saturday morning. Right. And Dan's like, "You don't have a backup laptop?" I'm like, "No. Why would I have a backup laptop? I've never had a problem with this one." Well, I have a backup one now.
There
And
you go.
I think I'm going to get a backup to back up the backup.
My computer that I use is over 5 years old, and that's obsolete in today's technology. The thing is, my backup is twice that old.
I mean, I was like, the fan started going crazy. So right in my laptop and was really noisy. So I'm like, all right, maybe it's got dust in it. Took it apart and blew everything out, put it back together, and started doing the same thing. So then I bought a cooling platform, right, for the laptop, right? So it's got like 6 fans in it, blows up into the laptop. Still didn't work. I changed the efficiency settings in the laptop,
Right.
and that worked. That worked for now, right? It worked for now. So I've got this one as a backup. We're gonna use this one till it dies because I'm cheap like that, right?
Right.
So we're just gonna use it till it dies.
Yeah, I do
and
the
then-
same.
Well, What about you, Jacob? Jacob's like,
What are we talking about computers now, or
I don't know what we're talking about. We're just talking about anything. right now.
my computer's a beast. It's going to last for
Oh
quite a
no,
while.
Jacob's got the old big ass gaming computer.
Workstation computer, graphics, motion video, After Effects, all that nice stuff.
Oh, he went.
Yeah, see,
full
that's
in.
what people do. They repurpose gaming computers into workstation computers.
Heck yeah, man! Just get a server CPU. You've got all these cores you don't know what to do with, but you can. It'll crunch data. It'll crunch data like nothing. I'm just glad that I built all this before the AI data centers just started taking all the.
Oh my god!
I mean, I'm sitting with like hundreds of gigs of RAM.
I gotta tell you, I have Jovan Pulitzer coming on Saturday, and that's the discussion is going to be data centers. I wanted to have him on a few weeks ago, but he's writing a book on that right now. So he's coming on Saturday. We're going to talk data centers. I want to talk flock cameras, all types of stuff like that, because I feel like in many ways we're living in a surveillance state.
I look at it as you're seeing a gold rush or like a wild west where you have new technology. The government's trying to keep infrastructure, or not keep infrastructure, but you have technology that outpaces current law regulations in some ways. I tend to look at it like this as you may have AI go flop in terms of like its commercial use with the public, but you're already having the infrastructure built for the data center. It would be a convenient way to repurpose those for surveillance should the market not take it. It's a convenient way to say, the government will take it and we'll just build them,
Well,
we'll take over it if there's no commercial use.
They're currently building manufacturing centers dedicated to building drones. And along with each of those manufacturing centers comes a data center. Wonder why that is.
I don't know. Well, you know what the funny thing?
I can use those drones here.
Yeah. You know what the funny thing about the data centers is they're getting public financing, right? So they're getting tax subsidies. So we're paying for them. By the time they're built, the technology they already bought, the chips and everything, are going to be obsolete, right? They're going to be obsolete. I said this, I think, a few weeks ago. What China's doing is they're using almost like small units that attach to houses, right? Almost like, you know what a Bitcoin miner is? I have a few of them upstairs, right? Very small, right? I'm going to grab one of these days. I'm going to bring it down and show what it is. But imagine like a mini split unit, right? If anybody knows what that is, like a mini split air conditioning unit attached to the side of your house that is a data center, right? And the Chinese government, supposedly, now I don't know if it's true, is paying the citizens to attach these things to their house. Why? Because they're quick, they're easy, and the processing chip can be swapped out very quickly.
Yeah, and you spread out the bandwidth through a large geographical. You lose locality, or you gain the benefit of not being local.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So, Carl, let me know whenever you're one of those NVIDIA GPUs. It's too old. Send it my way, and I'll make a backup gaming computer.
I have 3 Bitcoin miners up in a closet upstairs. And I forget what it was. I forget what the GPU was or whatever it was. I forget what they were, but I have 3 of them. I used to run them in my middle room, right? In the wintertime. Why? Well, because I'd be getting Bitcoin and it would be heating my house.
Yep.
Very noisy, but it would heat my house. And the electricity, obviously not cheap, but back then it was a little cheaper. It was actually profitable to run them, But now, no, can't run them.
There's a few things too. By having an emerging technology, or we'll just say a large scale demand, you're probably going to see finally, you're going to see a rollout of disruptive technology. And what I mean by that is specifically within power. Yes, our current grid, our current system that we have now, there's deep concerns, but that's with the current infrastructure that we have. If you want to get into conspiracies about the different ways that that people have been able to create energy, if you want to get into 0-point energy and other known high output methods, then you could solve that problem by simply the government allowing these technologies to come out. It's not like we don't have them. It's just usually, how many people have you heard have gotten spirited away or just disappeared for creating a vehicle that ran off of water, or something like that, or cheap.
There's been a number of them.
Yeah, exactly. Conveniently, you go apply a patent, and then Uncle Sam gives you a knock on the door later and shuts you up one way or the other, or that patent gets stolen or secreted, or you know what I mean? Like it gets shelved so that this doesn't come out. So,
used to be corporate America. Used to be, if you come up with something that was a disruptive technology, corporate America would just shun you. Now,
right, because now they have it managed, because you had a managerial system, a managed economy. Again, Carl, like we were talking about last night, is all of this central planning by a bunch of crazy eugenicists. It wasn't like they were hiding this. This was the blueprint that was written. A lot of the stuff was published 100, 150 years ago. The idea of a centrally planned society, economy. You can't have disruptive technologies because everything's going to be controlled, centrally planned by a managerial class, which you would call the high priest of this system, the what will we call them? The Ubermensch, or the royals, the elite that rule over us, they're the ones that make all the decisions. And that's where we have all of these federal or national or even, we have all these national systems. I mean, look at the Board of Education. The U.S., what did that do for us? Nothing good.
Well, it screwed up our kids. It turned into a bunch of communists.
Exactly. Even with the best intentions, central planning for an entire continent, it doesn't know how to best serve its people. That's why local autonomy always, it works best, certainly better than national central planning.
All right. So,
yeah. Well, I speak about that situation, with corporate America, because I know about it. I came up years ago. I came up with a household technology that would have put a lot of companies out of business if it caught on. And I went to go shop it around because I didn't have the money to produce it as a product, so I went to go shop it around and turned down by everyone. And I kind of got blackballed to anybody. Nobody would even hear my pitch. So yeah, that was back in the late 90s.
It literally, I'm surprised. Well, you got to be careful. And hey, Raider, hey, Anthony in the Rumble chat and the Getter chat. What's up, Skillet, and everybody else over there? Too many chats that won't combine into the Restream. That's the problem with
what
Restream.
Happened to Skillet? I haven't seen Skillet in like a month.
I know. We got to get him back on. He's been working on his house.
Yeah,
working on his house, man.
Been concentrating on that, man. Got that honey-do list.
Yeah, we got to get Skillet back on. We miss Skillet. We miss you, Skillet. We miss your dry sense of humor. You got to have a dry sense of humor, right? I mean, come on. So they basically didn't want to hear anything you had to say. I'm surprised they didn't want to hear it and then steal it. Because a lot of times, that's what they'll do. They'll let you get the pitch out there, right? And they'll change it just a little bit, right? And then they stole your idea, right? It wasn't the Ron Popeil rotisserie oven, was it?
No. It was a lot more disruptive than anything like that.
Remember Ron Popeil? Yeah,
yes, I do.
Knives. He had the knives.
Genius. Dude,
he was hustling,
genius.
Brother. He was hustling. I liked Ron Popeil.
Oh, yeah.
The American dream, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever happened to the... Remember the ShamWow guy? Whatever happened to him, right? Didn't he run for public office?
Yeah, he went into politics,
dude, he put out something, what was it, a few years ago.
Wasn't he
a great infomercial? Yeah. Very, very based infomercial. Or what was the one? He had the thing that crushed the nuts. It's like, you're going to love my nuts. And then he just got the
Wasn't he like, didn't he get in trouble for like soliciting like prostitutes with ShamWows or something? I don't remember. I know he got
I remember that one of the I don't know if it was just like a YouTube meme or if he actually got in on it, was the ShamWow was used for being able to clean up suspicious fluids.
Why not?
Have you been out with somebody else and you don't want your wife to know? Grab the ShamWow. It sucks up all the fluids. Just saying, it's it could have been
this black light. You see, turn it on. You see, you can see the stains right there. Get the ShamWow, rub it on there. Bam, it's
gone. No residue left. That's how good the ShamWow. Imagine a commercial like that.
And it'll hold up to 10 gallons. Okay.
But that's not all. We're going to give you the sham condom.
Well, I was going to say, it's like, only Jesus can clean your conscience. For everything else, there's a ShamWow.
That's maybe the ShamWow will clean that too. I don't know. You don't know, folks.
It'll clean the blood stains.
Come and see me at 9:30 on Sunday morning. I'll work on the conscience, okay?
No, I keep thinking back to Macbeth. You know, like I can't wash the blood off the hands. I'm like ShamWow.
Nope. Right.
What are we, Gavin Newsom now? American Psycho? Somehow we turned into him.
Ooh, well, you know, AI could crop his face on there.
It could. He looks exactly like. What was his name? Patrick. Come on, Big Tony. American Psycho.
Raider's saying he can't hear me. But
I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Patrick Bateman.
What was the question?
From the original.
Yeah.
Patrick Bateman. He looks just like Patrick Bateman, and acts like him too. So, all right, let's talk a little Mitch McConnell. You think he's still alive? You think Mitch is still alive? Because according to Scott Jennings, right, and we'll play it. We'll play that. I got the clip of Scott Jennings, which I don't believe. I don't believe. I don't believe Scott Jennings for a minute on this, by the way. And this just shows you, people, the lying pieces of shit that are in the Republican Party too, right? They will lie to you. Scott Jennings is nothing more than a Mitch McConnell rhino. Just listen.
Yeah, he called me this morning before I did my radio show. We talked for about 17 minutes. You know, he talked a lot about the situation with Iran, talked a little bit about Ukraine and what's going on in Europe. I told him I'd been to the Teddy Roosevelt Library. We talked a little bit about the history of the vice presidency and how Roosevelt had transformed that in the modern presidency, a little history of the Senate. I mean, it was a wide-ranging conversation. I talked to him often. I hadn't talked to him since he'd been in. I'd gotten a few text messages from him, but I hadn't spoken to him. So it was good to hear his voice. Voice sounded strong and sounded like he was keeping up with the news to me.
Did you ask him how he was feeling?
Yeah, he said
he's feeling like he was dead.
Okay.
Give me a break. Give me a break. Does anybody buy that? If you look at he was found unconscious, right? In his house. Nobody hears from him for what, 2 weeks? Like about 2 weeks. I believe that was it the governor of Kentucky sent a letter to Mitch McConnell's office and wanted to know, you know, are you okay? All of a sudden after that, you get Scott Jennings, you get Mary Walters, right? Filled in for Rob Carson. Oh, I talked to him too. All these people, right? They're acting like they're America first. Like Scott Jennings is acting like he's America first. He's not America first. Right there, that tells you everything you need to know about Scott Jennings. He talks the talk, right? But he just can't walk the walk. Right there shows you exactly who he is. He's a rhino reprobate that will lie to your face and do it for money and power. Mary Walters, the same thing. Washed up old talk show host. Nobody even knows who the hell she is. Right? But they put her out there. Hey, Mary, we'll give you a couple of bucks. We'll give you a couple more hits on Newsmax. If you lie and you say, Flatline Mitch is still alive or still cognitive, there's no way in hell. Why wouldn't Mitch come out and make some type of statement? Why wouldn't he release some type of audio? Hey, it's Mitch McConnell and it's Mitch. Yeah, Glitch Mitch. I call him Flatline Mitch now. I mean, you got to be kidding me. You expect us to He said that with a straight face.
You know, Carl, I just keep thinking for all of these politicians, And all the things that people are concerned about, what they're doing, whether it's adrenochrome or what other things they might be doing for life extension or other stuff. The amount of people that I see that are just, sick and completely like mind altered on medications. I mean, you got to think those guys are probably not exempt from it too. I could be wrong. I don't know what these people do, but I tend to think that they may go and see the best licensed medical doctors that the West has to offer, and I just think that might be part of their problem. Is they might be so over medicated from. Just think about this much: the amount of stress that these folks are under, the amount of lying that they end up doing, the amount of compromise, blackmail, the amount of crushing stress. How does a person cope with it? It's too much. So you wonder what do they do in order to cope? Is it get into dissociation? Is there narcotics? Are they hopped up on Xanax and SSRIs and SNRIs? The point is what I see in daily life, you have to apply to people in the highest stress situations, and you think, I wonder if they're really not all there too, and they're suffering from the physical and mental degeneration of pharmakia.
I mean, obviously,
or meth. Yeah, lots of meth.
Probably. Obviously, Mitch sold his soul to the devil. Well, they call him Cocaine Mitch for a reason, right? Right?
I thought it was because of his wife and their shipping company that they were probably using that as a cover for contraband.
Anthony, lots of it. Well, don't you remember? I think his family's yacht. I think it was back in the early 80s or something like that. Got caught by like the Coast Guard or something like that, and they had like cocaine on it, and it went away. It went away. It was no big deal.
It sounds like another day in the cartel. What is it? Right? Guns, drugs, and money. I'm not.
And you know what the funny thing is like back then, people are like, it doesn't make a difference in my life, right? Whatever, as long as I get my little slice of the pie, right? Everything's fine, right? Because back then you could work in a factory and you could have a new car and maybe a vacation house down the shore. You can't have that now because our politicians have sold us so far down the river on both sides to China, Israel, all these other countries, military industrial complex. That now your average person that's just starting out can barely afford an apartment, a family. You go to college, you graduate college, you can't get a job because you're competing against H-1B visas. So you get a mediocre job, and just to afford the basics, you got to work that job, and then you've got to Grubhub or Uber or any of those things just to afford to live and maybe a couple of basic necessities in life. Right? And why are we there? Why are we there? We're there because the two-party system has sold us down the river. And as we continue, we just get deeper and deeper into a national debt, right? We keep on, everything keeps on getting more expensive. By the way, housing prices through the roof again. Mortgage interest rates through the roof again. We're back in this war. And by the way, my cold open yesterday, I played it. Trump said that the nuclear dust, as he calls it, it's buried so deep that nobody could get it. Only we could get it because we have special equipment I'll pull that up and play it for everybody. So why are we still engaging in this conflict? Right? I was told by Trump and everybody else, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. So if Operation Midnight Hammer buried that nuclear dust so much that nobody could get it except for us, because we're the only ones with the equipment that could get it. Why are we still involved in this? Why is the Straits of Hormuz shut down? Why are we cutting off fertilizer, helium, all the critical things that make the global economy function? And by the way, we need the global economy to function too, in order for American economy to flourish and function. Why are we engaged in all this? You know, it puzzles me, because I know Trump's not a dumb guy. I know he's very smart. I mean, obviously, the the Islamic Republic of Japan was a lack of sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, but come on, you know they're going to use that against you. Why would you, if you're that exhausted, why would you go, you're the president of the United States, just put a lid. Joe Biden did it all the time. Put a lid on your campaign, fly back home, right? Get some rest, dude. You need it. We need you. We need Trump. You know, and by the way, I'm just going to say it. I'm very glad we have Trump over Kamala Harris, but it doesn't mean I'm going to agree with everything that's going on right now. Just to make that clear, because I know there's retards out there that'll go, "Oh, you'd rather have Kamala Harris?" No, dumbass. That's why I voted for Trump 3 times. Right? That's why I voted for Trump 3 times, because I don't want Kamala Harris. I don't want high gas prices. I don't want high inflation. That's why I voted for Trump. Right? But we're there, unfortunately. It's confusing to me in many ways how we got here. I think I know how we got here because of, I believe, Benjamin Netanyahu wants the greater Israel project and wants to continue to push war. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And I'll try to pull up that Trump clip of him talking about, just because I don't want people to say, "Oh, that's you said that." Now, I want you to hear it from his mouth. So go ahead. Your opinions.
I'll refer back to my opinions yesterday.
You can't refer. You gotta not everybody was listening.
I'll just tell everybody, go check out Promethean Action Network. They have really good analysis on different take on what's going on there.
Well, what's their opinion?
It just goes back to it's decoupling from your old liberal international order, and that both Iran and Israel kind of are pawns and prizes in this game of managed conflict on a global scale, where America for the longest time has kind of been subdued as a dumb giant to be kind of the military enforcement arm for a global economic order. London supplies the financing, deals with the trade, the economy side, and then you could look at the Vatican as the kind of religious arm. So you've got a 3-pronged economy, government, and religion. Interestingly enough, you got Washington, D.C., London, and Vatican, all 3 places which are essentially their own sovereign plots of land operating under the guise of another nation, or within another nation.
Yeah, well, I mean, those people in the Middle East have been fighting since biblical times.
Right.
So, I mean, they don't know any different but to fight with each
Right.
other. So I mean, I personally think
I say
let
they're
them
going to fight. It's religious in nature. That's what I look at. All this is religious in nature, and you get nations that have been co-opted over the decades and centuries to kind of be vassals and fight. I've just said it before: is that how many nations out there today actually can chart their own futures? How many of them are actually their own governed by their own representatives and not essentially toppled states that are propped up in name only and put in and have a managerial class put in? We can see that with our politicians, that they're selected, not elected. Same way with our presidents for a very long time.
I love the thought process that goes into all those, but let me just simplify it for you. Because I believe what happened was Trump was sold a bag of goods by Benjamin Netanyahu. He was told this would be a 4-day war. We'd be in and out. The people of Iran would rise up, and you're going to get the Nobel Peace Prize. As a matter of fact, remember, let me just bring this up real quick for everybody. 2 weeks before this all went down, Benjamin Netanyahu shows up at the White House with the Israeli equivalent to the Nobel Peace Prize and gives it to President Trump. I can find that, right? What we all have to remember, as much as I love President Trump, he's got an ego, right? And if you tell him he's great and all this stuff, he's like, oh, yeah, I love him. Look at Mark Levin. Look at Mark Levin, right? When he was doing everything Mark Levin wanted on Israel's behalf, Mark Levin loved him. And he was Mark Levin's best friend. As soon as Trump was like, I want to have this MOU, I want to end this because it's screwing up the economy, it's driving down our polls, the midterms are going to get screwed. Mark Levin's like, well, you're going to negotiate with a goddamn bunch of terrorists. And he takes off his glasses and he throws them. I'm not going to throw them because I don't want to break them. It's the only one to have. But he takes them off and throws them on the table. Right? I mean, I get the fact that the Iranians and these Islamists are psychopaths. I get that. I get all that. Right? There's no doubt. Now, but Benjamin Netanyahu is just as psycho as and I'm not saying Israel doesn't have a reason to exist. I'm not saying that. I'm not that person. Right? But I'm just saying that the people that are controlling Israel right now, they have a few screws loose.
And that would totally make sense if, again, if a lot of these nations are essentially captured, as I would say. But yeah, Carl, I think your observations are absolutely dead on. You're talking about here's the day-to-day operations, here are the current players, and then here are the coordinations. And it's a lot easier to coordinate if you have men on the inside of every, I don't want to say team or everybody involved. It makes it so much easier to coordinate this. Because, again, I look at it as Trump is just one nail that's sticking out, one person that shouldn't be in place. And, love him or hate him, this man has single-handedly ended more political careers than anybody I have ever seen.
No,
well, this guy on the screen right here, right now, one of the reasons I voted for him, over and over, was because of that ego. Because he so loves to hear his name. He so loves to hear how great he is that he would literally do anything to endear himself to the American people. Now, having said that, also realize that as president of the United States, he is very insulated, and he has to rely on reports. This report and that report and this report and that report. And who is writing and giving him these reports?
Well, and you also have to remember that Susie Wild Yep, Susan
Exactly.
Wiles, who controls all access to President Trump, ran Benjamin Netanyahu's re-election campaign.
Yes.
Not
yes.
only that,
Yes, she did.
not only that, you also have to consider Jared Kushner. Since he was a child, has been visiting Benjamin Netanyahu because his father was very good friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep,
you've
family
got to
friend, yeah.
consider these factors, right? And I'm not, listen, exactly what you said, Tony, I agree 100%. I think that, like I said, Trump was duped. And I know there's people out there that don't want to hear it because they think Trump is God. He's not God. He's a human freaking being with an ego. Right? He's a successful businessman, human being with an ego. And let me tell you something. Prior to this war, or whatever you want to call it, conflict, the American economy was ramped up. Prior to the incident in Minnesota, the two incidents, we were ramping up deportations. After Minnesota, we pulled out of there. We threw the white flag up. We started to roll back those deportations. The numbers are inflated more than what they actually have deported. That'll come out eventually. But then we got sucked into this war. And after Operation Midnight Hammer, I said it wasn't going to end. It wasn't going to end. But here, just hear it from President Trump. Let's just listen to what he has to say.
Yes, ma'am.
You said that dealing with the Iranians is a waste of time. How do you plan to get the nuclear material and the nuclear assurances that you want?
Well, we've already got the nuclear material because it's so far underground, nobody's going to be able to get it except us because we have the equipment that can get it. But I call it the nuclear dust. The nuclear material is so far down underneath the mountain, and now that's been determined, that it would take massive machinery that we have that no other country has.
Why are we still there? Isn't that what this was about the whole time?
I think that's what it started to be about, but then, it's become a back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth.
Well,
I kind of think, that's the situation now, really. When you boil it down, it's just a back and forth,
Well, no, from the whole time, right after Operation, what drug us back into this conflict after Operation Midnight Hammer was Benjamin Netanyahu came to President Trump and he said, the Iranian people are rising up. Now's the time. And then after we went in and we softened those targets and the Iranian people didn't rise up, then it turned into, oh, well, they were on the cuffs of getting a nuclear weapon again or developing a nuclear weapon again. I can go back and find those clips because that's what happened. That's what happened. The narrative changed. The goalpost keeps changing. And that's what's frustrating for people, especially the youth, right? The youth right now, like I laid out earlier, things are too expensive. Gas is going up. Started to come down. Now it's spiking back up again. At what point do we not worry about the Middle East? Because President Trump right there just said nobody could get this nuclear dust except for the United States because we're the only ones that have the equipment. So why don't we just declare victory, come back home, and end it? Let Iran charge their tolls or let Israel deal with it. Not our problem anymore. We took care of it. Done. Declare victory, come back home. Let's focus on America. Let's focus on our elections. By the way, unfortunately, my screen went down on my other side of my computer. But in Arkansas, let me see if I can pull it up. In Arkansas, They're building an epic city, 2 of them, right? And let me see if I can pull it up here. I think this is it. Yep, here we go. All right. So I actually wanted Murphy on tonight because Murphy's from Arkansas. I wanted to get her opinion on this, but I think we would have heard about the dogs next door.
Right. We would have heard a lot about them.
We would have heard about the dogs next door. We would not have heard about the mosques being built in the epic city in Arkansas. All right, here you go.
I'm Christina Awayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. Outrage is erupting in Little Rock, Arkansas, over a city-approved Islamic residential project that requires buyers to sign a private Islamic bill of assurance.
Focus on the story, fellas, not the lady.
Sharia law. It will have 2 mosques, an Islamic school, clinic, and related facilities under ongoing control by the Linked Mosque organization. The project sits in the John Barrow neighborhood area of Little Rock on a 6-acre site. City planning records show the Little Rock Planning Commission approved the New Africa development by the Islamic Center for Human Excellence, or ICHE, on a 10-0 vote in December of 2020. Okay, here are the details. 22 single-family homes planned with multiple homes already built and sold. Additional lots approved. 2 prayer halls totaling nearly 10,000 square feet. 1 2,953 square foot mosque on lot 7 and 1 6,750 square foot mosque on lot 23. A 4,500 square foot Islamic educational building and school. Health clinic, community garden, playground, and parking spaces. Perpetual oversight by ICHE or the New Africa Homeowners Association. The binding Islamic Bill of Assurance that every buyer and seller must sign states, in part, buyers and sellers are aware that this development is for the purpose of creating a wholly owned residential, all Islamic community conforming to the social guidelines given in the Quran, and all parties agree to this purpose. It includes enforceable rules on architecture, maintenance, and Quranic moral codes, aka Sharia, such as restrictions on alcohol, with the mosque-linked HOA holding permanent control. That's what you need to know.
I mean, right there. Like, how is that? How are the people of Arkansas allowing that to happen?
Well, it's not the people of Arkansas. It's the people running.
So you found a way to bypass
it's the people. When you see, to me, Tony, I look at it as the people of Arkansas, right? Because much like the people of Texas came out and they pushed back against Epic City, even though it's still being built, they gave an effort and they're still trying. You don't hear that's the only place.
Where the protests, where the petitions, where is all of that pressure on the politicians. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I've been telling you about these people. You know what have I been telling you? That they're going to do what they keep doing. They keep repeating the same procedure over and over and over again, and it works. And they have people that are graduating every year from law school, and they're focusing their studies on how to keep these things rolling legally, how to get past, how to loopholes, how to get past all the laws that are being put into place to try to stop them, etc., and continue these things forward. And it's going to keep happening until something is done, something major, and something that a lot of people would consider kind of draconian. So
I mean, unfortunately, I'm moving more towards a place where I believe that there's going to be a conflict in America. And I used to not think that. I used to think, you know what?
It will happen.
I was one of those guys that was thinking, we could vote our way out of it,
I think, Carl, largely a lot of that has already been eroded where that doesn't work, but we keep pushing
We're
down
past
that.
point.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that the only option is what they call the bullet box. I mean, I know that's your very last thing. What I'm getting at is
It's a ballot
look,
box. We still need to use
look,
a ballot box.
right. Everybody thought it was the ballot box.
No.
Let me put it this way.
Is it the ballot
There's
box
a
or
lot-
the bullet box?
Well, there's
Well,
like
there's
4
really
different
good.
boxes, and it goes like escalation. There's like 4 different boxes that, you know, in the little phrase, ballot box. Like the last option is like, you know, where the Declaration of Independence says, you know, it's the duty for the people to overthrow tyrannical government and then institute a government that
Represents the people.
for their posterity. Yeah, right. Exactly. It says when things become tyranny, then that becomes that last resort. We don't ever want it to get to there. But the point I was going to get is, you see right now, I'm just going to take technology and entertainment sector. So whether it is PlayStation saying we're not going to do any type of disc media anymore, everything's going to be completely digital, and also revoking.
My son was so pissed
purchases
about
that
that.
people made. Yeah. So there's that. There's also PlayStation going back on saying, hey, we know you bought a lot of movies, but because our licensing agreement is changed with, I guess, certain creators or whatnot,
lost all your
what you
shit.
purchase, you don't have access, you don't own anymore. Okay, so there's that. And then there's also
Well, own nothing and you'll be happy.
Yes.
let me think where that other one is. It's the
Give enough
idea
rights.
that we'll just
Own
say
nothing
Hollywood and movies.
and you'll be happy.
You
Because they
keep
say so.
seeing series, right? Keep seeing series being made that nobody wants, that keeps bombing. Where does the money keep coming from? I think it's a very simple but profound realization is these companies have found that the customers are no longer their money source. They're getting their funding from elsewhere, and possibly even getting directives from elsewhere to keep making this. So if you are not their audience and how they keep funding themselves, they have no obligation to do anything that is in your best interest. And I wonder if the government has become so much like that politicians get selected. They are, they're put in place. They know who has their back. They know who funds them. They know that they'll be shielded for stuff. It's actors. It's Hollywood for ugly people. It's all it came to them. And so I look at it as like, this is why we don't see anything, because I think we find that we're playing a game. We're playing a different game than they are. We don't know the rules. So we're not utilizing tools that create leverage that they have to respond.
I can tell you what people are consuming because it was number 1 on Amazon Prime. Citizen Vigilante.
Vigilante.
One of the best
Absolutely.
movies I've seen, by the way. Number
Freaking
1.
awesome.
Number 1. And the guy was an American, right? Well, he was born in Germany, but he came to America, then came back, right? That's what people are consuming. That's that movie. After I watch that movie, right? And I see what's going on in France, I see what's going on in England. And they're always ahead of America, just a little bit in trends, right? That's why I truly believe the only problem with the difference between America and England and France are, I think we're a little more nuts. I think we're a little more, I think it's ingrained in our blood where once we start to feel things slipping away and out of control, we have that 1776 moment, right? 1775, technically.
All we really need to do is, unleash all the rednecks. Take the leash off, let them go. I mean, they'll have everything taken care of in 2 days. Just make sure they have plenty of beer.
Yeah.
And bullets.
Beer
And bullets.
Well, they probably have the bullets covered.
Well, you got to make sure.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what studies they had on that, but I think it would worry any person that would try to invade or rouse.
Well, invasion is happening.
The people,
Let them up.
Because there's so much ammunition that there's so much privately purchased ammunition all across the country.
Well, wasn't it during World War II? I think it was a Japanese general was asked, why wouldn't you just invade?
There's a gun behind every blade of grass.
It's too many. We have too many bullets, bitch.
There's a bullet behind every blade of grass. So what was their solution? We're going to send a really weird looking weather balloon all the way across the Pacific, and it's going to blow up. And the strange thing is, it actually did blow up later, kind of like after the fact, on an unsuspecting mother and child at a picnic.
Yep.
I mean, that's a horrible way to go.
Is, but
you're just thinking it's like they sent a balloon that blew up after, and it came after the fact because it was so.
But they realized, though. They realized that the way to beat us is to infiltrate us, right? Yuri Bezmenov, right? Laid it out for us.
Fabian socialist model was the long, slow, gradual degradation, 2 steps forward, 1
and we're
step
here now.
back.
We're there.
And we're here now.
We're there.
But it happened a long time ago, and that's why people don't see through the ever-present now, because they're just waking up and they think it don't only happen recently. This didn't start with Obama.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It actually, I know people are going to hate to hear this. Reagan was part of this. He was part of amnesty,
was part of
opening up
Nixon
the border. The reason that illegal immigrants can go to a hospital and get free health care is because of fucking Ronald Reagan.
Forget the Vaccine Protection Safety Act that removed liability from the vaccine manufacturers in '86.
It's
all thanks to Reagan.
Small compounded effects of things done over time, right? Much like you wake up.
I mean, Reagan did a lot of good stuff, but every president has made their F-ups. They've screwed up. Every single one, and they compound from one president to the next, to the next, to the next. It compounds. It gets bigger and bigger, like that snowball at the top of the mountain. Eventually, it's going to.
How do you co-opt and use a person's force or use a person's strengths against them? Kind of like judo. You use the person's weight and movement and force against them. That's what we see. We're just talking about.
No, that's
okay. I don't know, but I know he can barely lift his leg up. That kick anybody,
right?
That's some really good movies. I'm not gonna lie, but you watch them. The last movie I saw him in was like a zombie movie, and he was so bloated.
Yeah, there was one where he was I think huge. Was that like 15 years ago?
And
or
it's
something?
like he's like beating this guy up, and he can barely lift his leg up. It's like, come on, man. Make this a little realistic. I mean, maybe you could just have him like jump and sit on him or something like that.
Right.
At least he's faring better than David Carradine.
What was that dude from? He got real ill. Jet Li.
Oh, Jet Li. Yeah, Jet Li.
Yeah, he got real ill.
Pretty badass.
Yeah, and then he got better. It was weird. He you see pictures of him now. He looks a lot better. Romeo Must Die, one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite kung fu movies. Check it out, folks. Romeo Must Die. It's a mix of rap and kung fu, baby.
In my opinion, all-time best kung fu master of any of the kung fu movies, etc., is Jackie Chan.
And
he did a lot of actual, the foreign language, kung fu movies that, he did a lot of those before he became famous. So, I mean,
Now you're gonna make me like pull up like one of my favorite modern kung fu is I can't remember his first name, but his last name's I believe White. What the hell is his name? And I can't remember the freaking movie right now that he was in, but it was one of the best movies ever. He was in a few of them, but well, I'll remember tomorrow. So there you go. I'll tell you Saturday morning. It'll pop into my head. I'll be like, "Hey, remember I was talking Thursday night?" You know how that works. I'm gonna end this.
I know.
I'm gonna end this, and it's gonna pop into my head. I'm gonna be like, "Damn it!"
Right.
Have to drop it in the description.
I'll have to drop it in the description. And then there was this. What is this other movie? Red Dam Redemption. I think that's the name of it. It's a Thai movie, but it's about like this guy that goes into this apartment building, and his brother works for a drug lord there. And it's the most violent movie I've ever seen in my life. Red Dam Redemption, I think that's the name of it. But no Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris was a pussy.
You know,
I'm just kidding. He wasn't.
When Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee fought, Bruce Lee called Chuck Norris up, and at the time, Chuck Norris, he was undefeated champion, kickboxing, and they're talking, and Chuck Norris says he says, so you want to beat the champion, in your movie there, and Bruce Lee was like, no, I want to kill the champion, and in the movie he did. Because that was one of the few times that Chuck Norris was the bad guy.
Malibu's Most Wanted was a hilarious movie, by the way. So I'm looking up. I'm trying to find this movie. Do you remember Malibu's Most Wanted? That movie was hilarious.
Barely. I don't remember if I saw that one.
I barely remember.
Who was in it?
I've been watching Bruce Willis all day. Red and Red 2 and a bunch of different movies.
We'll have to watch Citizen Vigilante.
Oh, you have to watch it.
You need to, man.
They've been trying to find a time to like coordinate everybody.
Michael J. White. That's who it was.
Michael J. White.
Yeah.
And I can't think of the movie right now, but it starts out with him in prison. And he beats the shit out of somebody, then gets out of prison and ends up moving into this like rent-a-room place and ends up avenging his cellmate's wife and child, right? Through I can't think of the frickin' movie right now, but I thought of his name. So there you go. Michael J. White. Great actor. Kung Fu actor. But I don't know. How do we end up on Kung Fu?
Oh, it was mentioned.
Yeah.
I think it was just mentioned.
That's how this thing works. You know that.
You know what I saw? The movie Back Doors. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Back Doors. Back Rooms. Yes.
Yeah.
I've been
meaning to check that out because a lot of people are screaming about it on the internet.
I saw it Friday night with my son and my wife. Really good movie. It's a definite mind F.
Better than Supergirl.
Yes, better than Supergirl. 100 times over. See you, Raider. Thanks for dropping in, bro. Yes, it ends. So the company that created this, I'm going to say other dimension, right?
The whole thing's based on an internet meme. It is.
It is, but
yeah,
they did it so well. It takes you back to CERN.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ruin it
I'm
for
sorry.
me, buddy.
This is what I gathered from it.
Spoiler alert. Oh.
No, this is what I gathered from it.
It's just a meme,
So,
man. They got to try to put trans-dimensional portals. Is it going to connect to like Disclosure Day now?
My God. No, but it's funny. The rooms they go into, when they go into this space, it leaves a memory of you.
You know, the space is an old furniture store.
Yeah, well, because it's the furniture store that the guy owns that goes in there. It's like a you see, I'm ruining it for him. But
The space from the meme is an old furniture store.
Yeah.
So apparently CERN was trying to communicate with demons.
They shut it down for a little
opening
bit.
a portal. Right. So now all we've got is endless corporate. Now it's just endless corporate wars.
Could you imagine? I mean, who the hell would think, right? Oh, let's create a super collider. Let's try to create a black hole. Let's create the God particle. Nothing bad's going to happen here, folks. It's the most insane thing that anybody could ever think of, because you could completely just create something that you could not ever shut down. I mean, AI is very similar in many ways. At some point, with all these data centers...
Just wait. CERN will soon be controlled by AI, if it's not already.
Oh my God, dude. That's why they're shutting it down. They're waiting till we get all these data centers up and running, and then they're going to... There you go! We're up and running.
Building, making it more powerful. I was going to say is, you crackhead that gets a hold of the wrong stuff. Sometimes it tells them to go for leprechaun. Sometimes it tells them.
Don't make me play it
sometimes.
Again. Don't make me play it again.
Look. Sometimes it tells them to go up in the tree and play a leprechaun. But that same drug sometimes gives people equations and tells them to go build portals to let the demons talking to them in. So some end up crackheads, some end up having divine encounters with devils.
Yeah, there was recently a law put forward that could have possibly let the son of Sam out, but he'd have to find him some new dogs though.
Oh my God.
I mean, those dogs that were talking to him, giving him his marching orders, man, they can't still be alive.
Well, maybe the demon's still alive.
He'd have to find new dogs. I mean,
or I don't know. I mean, I guess if the CIA's got wireless broadcasting, just
always go straight and get with some chick and have a son, call him Toucan.
Toucan.
This is. By the way, this is.
Then we're definitely friends.
This is Jacob's fault for this. By the way.
Come on, we got more than just this one.
Well, just in time for St. Patrick's Day, crowds are coming by the dozens to get an up-close view at what some say is a piece of Irish folklore.
Some people in the Crichton area of Mobile say a leprechaun is taking up residence in their neighborhood. A leprechaun. NBC 15's Brian Johnson has more.
Curiosity leads to large crowds in Mobile's Crichton community. Many of you bringing binoculars, camcorders, even camera phones to take pictures.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah?
Eyewitnesses say the leprechaun only comes out at night. If you shine a light in its direction, it suddenly disappears. This amateur sketch resembles what many of you say the leprechaun looks like. Others find it hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations for the image.
My theory is it's casting a shadow from the other limb.
So many people were got hold to the wrong stuff, and it told me to get up in a tree and play a leprechaun.
We're going to get down to the bottom of this.
Yeah, still on there, guy. Don't be afraid.
We all have that guy in our neighborhood.
This guy, helping to direct traffic, says he's prepared for his encounter with the leprechaun. He's suited up from head to toe.
This wars off spells right here. This is a special leprechaun flute, which has been passed down from thousands of years ago from my great-great-grandfather who was Irish. I just came to help out.
Others just came to get lucky in hopes a pot of gold may be buried under this tree.
I'm gonna run a backhoe and uproot that tree. I want to know where the gold at. I want the gold. Give me the gold. I want the gold.
This is Brian Johnson, NBC 15 News.
I'm sorry, it never gets old.
Never gets old.
It never gets old.
I've been watching that for 20 years.
The guy clearly with the leprechaun flute, just to let everybody know, the flute was a pin to scaffolding. So he clearly stole that out of there was some mason out there that was going to put his scaffolding together, and it's like, God damn it, I'm missing a pin. And this dude's on TV talking about some type of ancient leprechaun flute. Play it.
Yeah, that's what I would have said. Play it, demonstrate how it's used.
Yeah, that hole is too big.
The multiple holes.
I don't think I don't think you can get a tone to come out through.
Well, if he was smart, if they would have said, play it, he would have said, bend over, I'll show you. Right? But we all have that. I don't know about you, Big Tony, but I have that guy in my neighborhood.
Right.
I have that guy in my neighborhood called Cigar Man. That's not me. It's another guy called Cigar Man. Right? He's just, he's just not quite right. He walks around the neighborhood. He talks to everybody. You could be out there.
It's like Dale from King
you
of
could
the
be
Hill.
out there. Like, look, I could be out there. Just,
Hey, Dale was freaking CIA.
Dale was CIA.
I don't care what.
I could be out there.
All right, fine. Then Boomhauer.
I could be out there.
Boomhauer was a Fed,
he had
wasn't
to
he?
be. I was out there planting flowers one day.
I was a fan, but Dale was CIA, man. He had
I was
to
out
be.
there planting flowers. It was going to be a quick hit. I'm just going to plant the flowers, go in my house. No, because the guy comes by, Cigar Man comes by, and he starts talking, asking me about the flowers, and then asking me about this and that, and it's just a never-ending conversation. And you don't want to be rude, right? You don't want to be like, and so eventually you have to end it because my wife's in the house giving me the eyeball, right? Because we're supposed to go somewhere. Giving me the eyeball. And I have to end it, right? And I want to end it, but I don't want to be rude because this guy could be a complete psychopath. Could stab me.
Blame it on the wife. Say, my wife's giving me the eye.
Yeah,
I gotta
right.
go.
Look, bro, I'm out. I have to live in there with a Keebler elf.
Los pequeños
Keebleros. Keebler elf living up in this hood. All right. Listen, everybody. So I need you to support the sponsors of the Killer Karl radio show podcast, Iron Bean Coffee, ironbeancoffee.com. Best coffee you'll ever get. It is roasted when you order it and shipped to your door, made by an American patriot. Meraki Medicinal.
My favorite.
Yes, Big Tony loves it. Meraki Medicinal. I use it every day. Methylene Blue. They've got cold press black seed oil. The Meraki Moon Cream. I personally only use the Methylene Blue. I use it in the evening. I use the Hydroxygen from Jacob's site in the morning. It just works for me. Go there, MerakiMedicinal.com, MerakiMedicinal.com, and PatriotPouchUSA.com. If you chew or you're a smoker and you want to break those disgusting habits, right, with something that's going to give you the same benefit, that nicotine buzz. It's not nicotine, YouTube, so don't give me a strike. That nicotine buzz, go to PatriotPouchUSA.com. They have multiple different flavors. You're going to love them. and you're going to absolutely be supporting an America First company. And the last but not least, BeyondDetox.com/Killer Carl. Now, listen, I laid this out last night. We're in a battle. We're in a battle here, and we need to be healthy mentally, physically, spiritually. You've got to be prepared for what's to come. Got to be prepared to protect your family, protect yourself, protect your home. Hide your kids, hide your wife. The only way you're going to do that is to be physically healthy, pure, clean. Right? So you got to get yourself on point. And the only way you're going to do that is by going to BeyondDetox.com/Killer Carl, booking a 20-minute appointment with Jacob, going to the online store, using promo code Killer or Carl5.
Yeah,
Carl5. Right? We're being attacked left and right. Whether it's 5G, whether it's through our water, whether it's, through parasites, heavy metals. You need to cleanse yourself. And in the end, it's a win-win situation. Why? Well, because you are getting healthy, you're supporting Jacob, and you're supporting the Killer Carl radio show podcast, which is under attack. I'm under attack. How many times has my Rumble channel been taken down? I need your support. I need your support. Right? It helps me continue to do this, continue to have the radio show and expand. So I need your support. Jacob needs your support. All my sponsors need your support. And most of all, you need to be healthy. And the only way you're going to be healthy is by hooking up with Jacob here and booking that 20-minute appointment. It's free. And, just book it and make fun of him.
Come on now. What do you have to have that sign? Serious inquiries only. But no, Carl, you're exactly right. I was going to say this last night.
Can you help people with hemorrhoids?
So much ground.
All right, there you go, folks. If you have hemorrhoids,
a
lot of people suffer from hemorrhoids. I'm just saying.
I know a lot of people suffer from hemorrhoids, and they all have their different roots for causes for that. But
that Twigs kid probably suffered from hemorrhoids. That was testifying today.
Yeah,
probably from the pull out.
Generally, have an issue with those.
I'll just say this because people really come up with with hemorrhoid problems and other things. I always tell them is like, what are you doing to support your body? Do you even know how your body works?
Hey, Matthew, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Hey, I carry a cane to support my body.
But I was going to say, everybody, I have done something new for all of y'all that are listening. This is only for you, Carl. On our BeyondDetox.com/Killer Carl, we have 3 special deals that are there. So I've created a 4-month and a 12-month program. This is a self-paced program. This takes all of the information, all of my information distilled down into kind of like a fully comprehensive 4-month or 12-month version. Normally those are $300 and $600 for those programs. Just for you, Carl, they are essentially $100 and $200. So if you go over there, you type in the Killer Carl promo, the Killer Carl code, all the information is there. You're going to get it at a very, very, very steep discount. I do this because you'll have to understand when you get sick, it's going to happen. When something happens to you, where are you going to turn? What are your options? If you're saying, I'll just deal with it when I get there, are you going to be in a situation where you can't avoid getting funneled into a what we call polypharmacy, a lot of drugs or a lot of surgeries. That funnel, that system is very well built, and it has been over decades. Do you really understand how your body works? Do you know what tools to use in case you are hit with some type of long-term condition? Because if you look at the statistics, that's unfortunately where we're going. People are getting sicker at younger ages with much more severe diseases. And rather than actually working on their body, they're just managing their decline with, you will just say with, either drugs or surgery. And a lot of times they have very serious side effects. What does that mean for your health? What does that mean for your wallet when we're talking of upwards? I think we're at an average of $15,000 a year to manage your disease. And that's just managing it year after year. That's not talking about getting better. So what knowledge and tools do you really have when, especially in light of a system that is clearly failing us with health outcomes? So that's where my business is built. Is we offer information, education. We do one-on-one. That was the other thing Carl was going to say is 50% off initial appointment. If you want to work one-on-one with me, it's on the Killer Carl page, and if you do sign up for that, you will get your choice of one of the programs outlined absolutely free. So we try to make it as cheap as possible so that you can start getting education and start working with tools that can really support your health in ways that either you're not doing or didn't know was, possible.
That's a deal. I mean, when you consider the health benefits and how you're going to be prepared for the fight that's to come, and there's a fight that's coming, folks. Don't kid yourself. You've got to be prepared. The psycho-communist, radical jihadists, they're prepared. They've been preparing their whole life for this battle. We've just begun to wake up to the reality of what's before us. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it's true. You need to get yourself physically, spiritually, and mentally prepared for what you're about to face, unfortunately. And your health.
Not all paths are equal to that too. I mean, there's principles that we have to have in place and we have to learn. So it benefits you to get some education, work with somebody that you can trust. It doesn't have to be me, but
It should be Jacob, because I trust him.
I think that we have a lot to offer. I have done so much the stuff that things have worked for me. I've got my own story of coming back almost from the death's door. So, I offer what I've learned and what my expertise is to y'all, and we provide the tools that you can do this for yourself. But you can't be a spectator in your own health. I mean, to everybody listening, that is the biggest thing I can tell you. You cannot be a spectator. You have to be a participant, and you get the help that you earn the help that you have, whether you know it or not. You earned it. It didn't just happen to you, and so you can take responsibility for your health. And when you do, well, you tend to get better.
And the reality of it is if I'm bringing somebody on as an advertiser, I've got to believe in them. I've got to trust their product. I've got to like what they have to offer. Jacob, I sent you a company that wanted to come on board, remember?
Yeah.
A couple of months ago. I said,
I remember.
Check them out. Jacob was like, I'm not going to say the company, but I help a lot of people.
I remember too, because I told you, I said, it can make people feel something.
Yes.
But I don't think it's actually going to be working on fixing the root cause or the underlying problems.
Yeah.
And that bothers me because I see too many people going an endless merry-go-round of just buying supplements, especially nutrients like multivitamins.
It was like a blood glucose weird diet type thing.
Yeah.
They sent it to my wife. My wife
things.
used it for like 3 days, and she's like,
Take it from
yeah,
a
she's like,
diabetic.
nah, I don't want this stuff.
You know what's really weird, Carl, is those things. I do think that they can work for people, but my concern is once you go off of it, it's like a crutch. It doesn't actually
Fix
it doesn't
the root
actually
cause.
fix those underlying problems, which are usually toxins, or it could be like parasite, bacteria, fungus overgrowth, or some type of emotional, behavioral, disturbances that people have. Those are the issues of life that we need to fix. And that's where having somebody who has gone through this themselves, who really understands this, who knows how to bring in the right tools at the right time for longer for longer results. So, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't care to be. I don't give medical advice. We don't diagnose. We don't treat. We don't do any of those things. We support your body's innate ability to heal. And people just either don't understand that, or they don't appreciate the value that you have a God-given system that knows how to repair itself, but you have to remove the crap that doesn't need to be there, that's blocking it, and you have to give it the good stuff. And whatever we're doing today as a society, it doesn't seem to be working because people are getting sicker with the crazier diseases at younger ages. So
Working to do what they want.
maybe our tools, maybe our education.
Think about commercials.
We need something
for like Blue Chew and Rose Spark.
Oh, the Rougiette Ready, the Rose stuff. It's like guys
targeting young men for impotence.
Yeah.
But there's an issue going on.
And why is that the case?
There's
And why
so
is
many
that the
different
case?
things, man. But
Because the water is making the frogs gay.
There's low. Sure. We can look a lot to what are called endocrine disrupting chemicals. That's one thing. There's heavy metals. Heavy metals can really wreak havoc on.
I like heavy metal.
Me too.
Well, I like my heavy metal too.
Baby.
I just don't like them in my body because they cause a lot of problems. But you're absolutely right, Carl. I'm getting those ads all the time. It's like this is not for me. I got no problem pitching a tent.
It's just like, come on, man. I'm 52 years old. I don't have a problem, but you're targeting these young men.
Look at how many guys have gynomastia. They got the man boobs and they've got thinning hair.
I have thinning hair.
When they're
easy,
they got the hair. No. But when they're in their 20s, when they're in their 20s and they kind of look like they're turning into a soybean.
Yeah, and they start to morph into a woman.
There's a reason for that.
Well, it's not just the soy, man. Even the ones that aren't drinking it, it's a huge epidemic of low testosterone, beta males, feminine.
What is it? What did they say? We have men born today, prior to men born like in the early 70s, have like 30% less testosterone. Why is that?
Well, it could be that. I've seen it where it's worse. I'll tell you, I think my own testosterone had dropped down into the double digits whenever I was poisoned.
I know.
It was bad. Your hair was falling out.
When you're sick, your body shuts down production of certain things to pay more attention to ridding yourself.
Right. It turns off. I say it turns off all the auxiliary services because
Kind of like
it only
a Tesla,
has enough.
when you're running out of battery, you can't use your lights or your
Right. You're cutting off you cut off everything in order to keep the body alive. So that's a very intelligent system. A lot of it goes back to the liver and mitochondria. That's what can synthesize the hormones. And when that stuff gets gunked up, nothing works. Nothing works right. You don't have energy. Your liver can't make hormones. It gets even worse if you don't get cholesterol. All this stuff they talk about trying to lower your cholesterol. If anybody looked at a basic biochemistry chart or cellular biochemistry chart, you do know that cholesterol is the precursor for steroid hormones, or for we'll just say a lot of your hormones. So you got cholesterol, pregnenolone goes to DHEA and can go to your estrogens, can go to your testosterones and all their breakdowns. Okay, if you don't have enough cholesterol in your body, are you going to be able to synthesize and make enough of your androgens? Testosterone, estrogens, progesterone. No. Also, your brain is 25. I think it's 25% cholesterol. It's huge bits cholesterol, and they demonize cholesterol. Gets demonized because of they may say because of heart disease, but you just kind of look at. I'm not going to say it's that simple, but sometimes people would rightly think, if cholesterol is the precursor to hormones and people are telling me that I need to get my cholesterol as low as possible, and then you see people that the brain doesn't work and they're impotent, someone might ask, is there a correlation?
Hi, doc, my brain doesn't work and I'm impotent.
But
the
your
kid with
cholesterol
Down
is
syndrome
great.
has a boner 24/7. But me? No. How is that? Well, did I get silence on that?
Well, then you start thinking, well, does that doctor have to meet a certain quota of his client base on certain medications in order to get a higher tier bonus payout? You remember that they did that with certain pediatricians' office?
yeah.
They had to have a certain vaccination rate, or else they wouldn't get obscene amounts of
bonus pay.
money.
Well, they were doing that with judges.
Bonus pay.
They were doing that with judges here in Pennsylvania. They were getting kickbacks for every kid they would send, because the juvenile detention centers are privately owned.
Mhm.
So there was two judges in Pennsylvania that were sent to prison because they were sending kids to juvenile hall that didn't belong there for like minor offenses. So they would get kickbacks, and they got caught doing it. It's disgusting.
That reminds me of like of the displaced or the orphan kids. They are very at risk for somehow just conveniently falling into these
Pedophiles'
schemes.
hands.
What I was gonna say is, like you were talking about, is you have an incentive to find customers, so to speak, and for the private prison system. So you just think, okay, you've got all of these kind of at-risk demographics that almost seem to it's almost like if there's not a market, we're going to make one.
Disgusting.
And it's crazy. So I worry that no industry's immune from that, but I think we can all agree there is some very, very, very deep chicanery that's happening in government, NGO, and I would say the medical centers. I mean, it makes sense. If you were going to have spiritual warfare, where is the best place to go? The places with the highest power. And right now I see that as the government and the medical industries. 100%. Well, sure, we'll say the finance industry too. But anyway, just to wrap up my portion on that is there's not only one way to do health. There are a lot more options than most people are aware of in terms of how they can take care of themselves. You got to take responsibility for your own health. We offer information, education on that. Again, we're not medical advice. Consult your doctor for anything. This is just, it's good information to have, and, information that could be very, very, very useful.
There you go. BeyondDetox.com/Killer Karl. And the bottom of the chyron of your screen, you can see it flowing by with all the other advertisers. So check it out. Book an appointment with Jacob. Go to his store. You're going to absolutely love everything there. High quality. High quality. With that being said, we're going to end the Killer Karl podcast tonight. Jacob, where can they find you?
Easiest place is BeyondDetox.com, Beyond ETOX. And remember, put in /Killer Carl. All of those special deals you will find only there. And take a look at them. See if it makes sense to you.
All right, Big Tony, where can they find you and when are you going to be up and running?
I should be back up and running either Sunday or Monday. And I slapped together my equipment as best I could to come on here because me and Carl talked before the show. That. And but yeah, I should be ready to go Sunday or Monday. You can find me on Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, a whole bunch of places. Just put in wherever you're at, just put into the search bar Big Tony Speaks. And I'll come up. You'll see my nice yellow logo. And hit that follow button and come and see me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Sunday at 9:30 a.m. And Big Tony will speak.
There you go. And Big Tony is usually on here after his show every night I stream. Right? So we're going to get back to the normal schedule. It's summertime, dealing with my annoying, I'm going to say it, my annoying syndication company. Dealing with them, they suck. I said that out loud. I did. Because they do. I'm not going to lie. They're a pain in my ass. But it's what it is.
Man, I'm sorry. I was hoping you would have got that worked out, Carl,
dude.
but,
it's a whole process. I mean, I already told you before. I had somebody else that I think is going to end up. Well, we're not going to say it here, but
don't get yourself in trouble now.
But yeah, it's just it's like anything, it's difficulties and ironing out stuff, but it's all right. We'll figure it out, and it's what it is. But besides that, we're getting back to the normal streaming now. Normal streaming, right? So it'll be Friday. Obviously, I don't stream because I got to get up early Saturday morning. But then Saturday night, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you'll be able to catch me here every night, 8:00 Eastern Standard Time for right now. And if anything changes, we'll let you know. Hit the follow button, thumbs up, and I appreciate your support. We'll catch you Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Jovan Pulitzer on data centers. Later, guys. Thank you.
Good.